welcome back, Gaia. It's great to have you here. Today's topic is testing value proposition. So my question for you is pretty straightforward. How do we test the value proposition in the real world?
Thank you for this question, Andrea. It's straightforward and it should be super easy, but it turns out it is really not that that intuitive. So the easiest way really is to have a set of hypotheses, right? And to be aware of the fact that they are hypotheses. So we think that something might be true, but we don't know for sure, right? And we need to be very open to see whether that is true or not. Why is it so complicated? It's because we have this idea that if it is not true, it's because of us, and it's because we are faulty. That has nothing to do with that proposition. It just has to do that with the situation that we assume that a behavior happens because of a series of circumstances. But those circumstances may not apply to a different set of situations. So our openness is just to say, hey, what happens when I tell you that maybe we can stop the pandemic, right? So to test our value propositions, we actually test our assumptions. We actually test the criteria that we think are at play and the causes that we think are causing the problem. So it's really about understanding why something is happening, how the pandemic, if that's, to go back to something that everybody
It's a good reference point. It's contemporary.
Is facing, right? How that actually affects your life. If you're in Serbia, it affects you in a certain way. If you're in the US, in a different way. And why that is so, right? So there's an assumption that, the world is not the same as before the pandemic, right? But how that manifests itself in Serbia is very different from the US. So we need to be very open to ask people how that looks like for them. And that's as simple as that. You ask. So you can ask directly. You can ask through the social media channels. The most important thing is that you're receptive to what people say, the way they say it, and then constantly ask yourself, why are they saying this? Is it because I asked the question in one certain way? So maybe you can ask, you can reformulate the same thing in a different way and see if the answer changes.
Okay, very good, very intuitive. Thank you, Gaia.